Hey there. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy last day of the work week. Happy day before you get to go live your life. Happy day before you get to go and experience some fun and step into the things that you want to do, hopefully, versus just doing the things that you have to do, right? The job. And this morning, and good morning, Addison, Michael, Steve. Morning. All right, just kind of jump right into this topic this morning. Last night, Addison and I we were talking and we were sitting on the couch in the living room, and my little 5-year-old, my 3-year-old, they were on my lap. And they were snuggling down and getting ready to go to sleep, and they wanted me to read books to them. So they bring out these different books, and one of the books that they brought out was The Giving Tree. And you know, this is, it's, you look at it, and the title of the book is just a book that says, that's probably a good book, right? A good lesson. The Giving Tree. The Giving Tree, right? And if you're not familiar with this book, I mean, it is actually a really sweet, I'm going to use the word sweet. It is a sweet story. I won't talk about the creepy picture of the author on the back. Yeah. Guys really need to learn how to pick better pictures, but that's a different topic. Different topic, different day. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I see the comments. Okay, so, so The Giving Tree. So The Giving Tree, and it's a sweet book, right? And it's all about this tree, this little boy. You're not familiar with it. This little boy, and he goes to this tree, and he plays in the tree, and he climbs in the tree, and he picks the tree's apples, and he eats the apples, and he lays in the shade, and all this different stuff, and he loves the tree, and the tree is happy. And and he gets to do all these things with the tree, and the tree is happy. And then the little boy, he starts to grow up, and he becomes, he gets older, and he needs to make money. So he goes to the tree, and the tree's like, come swing on my vines, come climb my branches, come do this, come do that. And the boy's like, I'm too old for that, I'm too big for that, I need to make money. And the tree goes, oh, well, pick my fruit, go sell my fruit, and you will make money, and you will be happy. And he goes, and he climbs the tree, and he picks the apples, and he takes the apples, and he goes, and he makes money, and he doesn't come back for a very, very long time. And the tree then, of course, gets sad because she's not getting any attention. And she's given her fruit, she's given all of this, and the little boy took it from her and then goes off and just vanishes. But then when the boy starts to struggle again and he needs something, he comes back to the Giving Tree, and he tells the tree what he needs, and the tree goes, oh, well, do this, do that, and you will be happy. And then he goes ahead, and he takes, like, he wants a house because he wants a wife and he wants children. So he comes back, and he's telling the tree what he wants, and she's like, well, like, climb my branches, do this. And he's like, no, I'm too old for that, this is what I want in my life. So she's like, well, take my branches and build a house, and you'll be happy. So he cuts off all of her limbs, and he takes all this stuff, and he basically, but he goes, and then he takes all of this, and he goes, and he builds his house, and he leaves again, and he's just gone forever, and he's now gone for many, many years. But the tree was happy because she gave up all of her branches. Now she's just basically a stick standing there. It goes through, like, I think it's 4 different scenarios of the tree, and the tree's there, and the tree just keeps giving and giving and giving and giving, and the tree is happy through the act of giving. And the little boy just keeps coming back and asking for more and asking for more, and then taking off and abandoning the tree for years until he needs something else from the tree. And then he comes back, and he takes more from the tree until the tree has nothing to give except the fact that it is a stump. Now it has lost its leaves, it's lost its branches, it's lost its trunk, it's lost all of this, and the tree is sad, and it's just a stump. It's just a stump, and it feels like shit about itself because here it is, just a stump out in the middle of nowhere, and the little boy has not been there for years. For years. But then all of a sudden one day the little boy comes up and the little boy says, that doesn't really need much now. Now I don't really need much. I just need a place to sit. And the tree goes, well, I'm just a stump. I have nothing really to give. I'm just a stump. But you can sit on me. You can sit on me. You can have a place to sit. And the little boy flips his ass around and he sits down on the trunk. And the tree is happy. And you know, I understand as a mother, I understand as a human being, as a coach, teacher, whatever the hell you want to call me, I understand the lesson that the book is attempting to provide. And that is the lesson of the beauty of giving, right? The beauty of giving. And it is a really great thing to give of ourselves, to connect, to share, and to give of ourselves. The problem, especially with this book, and this is where I go, and other stupid lessons, right? The problem with this book is that it is a book showing that you give, and 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 you give till you have no more, and that you should be happy, that you should be happy with just giving of yourself, and that there is nothing more than that you need to receive than the happiness from giving so much of yourself that there is nothing left to give. Well, that's exactly what a doormat does. That's exactly what a person with absolutely no fucking boundaries does. That's exactly what somebody who actually lives a very unhappy existence does, is to put everything and everybody else in front of the most important person in their life, which is themselves. And when we just give, and we don't ever receive, because did you ever hear the little boy say thank you? Did you ever even hear an ounce of gratitude in this whole fucking book? No, the book does not teach gratitude. The book teaches how to be a doormat. The book teaches how to be a doormat. And I came out of reading this book to my 3-year-old and my 5-year-old, and I looked at Addison and I said, I hate that book. I hate that book because I want my children to learn how to give, but the equal lesson is how to receive. And gratitude. Fucking gratitude. Like, have some gratitude. When somebody gives of themselves at any level, you don't have to just have gratitude when they strip themselves just to be down to be the stump. It is to have gratitude for any little thing that life gives us, right? So if we don't have gratitude to life, because God is going to use other people's experiences, situations to teach us different things. So when we receive through others. Typically, we need other people. God is going to use other people to make our shit work. Okay? So like this morning, I woke up with an additional like $4,200 in my PayPal account. And I was just like, for whatever reason, somebody had messaged me that they had paid me for a workshop coming up and next month. So they went in verification because PayPal was having some issues. So I went in to check and see. And last night I told Az, and I was like, maybe I'll have, like blah, blah, blah in my bank account. And sure enough, this morning I did. I woke up with like an additional $4,200 in the bank, you could say. Well, my instantaneous thought was not, oh, good, I'm glad that that's there. It's about damn time those people did that. Oh, and I want more. Now, I might say, yeah, I want more. But my instantaneous thought was, oh, thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, whoever these are. Write the names in there. I'm sending gratitude from my heart out, first thing, about being grateful to those people, and to God, to the universe. Not a drop of gratitude. Not a drop of gratitude. Just like that. And I dislike the whole thing of giving. I know that, there is such a big difference between giving and sharing. And we believe, and we are trained due to stories like this, programs that we teach our children and that we have been taught as children to give of ourselves, and to not ever ask for what we want, to not ask for what we need, to actually deny receiving something. And then we turn around and we go, why am I not happy? Why am I not receiving the things that I need, the things that I want? Why is it so hard? Why do I have to work so hard at things? Why is it that everybody always takes advantage of me? Why is it that I always get passed up at work? Why is it that the guy always takes the other girl? Why is it that the woman always takes everything from me and then just pushes me to the side and I'm nothing? You know, we all have these traumas, these traumatic programs that are built into us, and it is based on the belief that we should give and not receive, that it is okay to give so much of ourselves that there is nothing left, and that we are not worthy of receiving, that it actually makes us almost a bad person to ask for what we want. Now, the flip side of this was like last night, and Aris and I were talking. We were talking about other things, and I turned around and I asked her to do something for me, and as she said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I said, oh, good, because that should make you happy, because you're giving to me, right? So you're welcome. You're welcome. I just made you happy by asking for what I need here, and by you just giving, hey, what else do you want to do for me? Because I want you really to be happy. So I'm going to just keep asking of you all these different things, and let me see how far I can push you, because I want you to be really happy. And then by the way, I'm not going to talk to you for the next 3 days. Yeah, because I just want you to give, and I'm not going to talk to you 3 days. But that should make you happy, right? That should make you happy, because you just gave of yourself. So be happy. No, when we do that, when we are giving and not sharing, we actually move into a space of bitterness, of resentment. There's disconnect that happens there, and we empty ourselves to a point that there's nothing more for us to be able to give, because we are so empty. And there are times in life when we need to fully empty ourselves so that our vessel can grow and expand and receive more. But we have to first of all get the lesson that in order for us to empty ourselves, to expand, to receive, that we have to learn that receiving is not a bad thing. How can we say, I want to do this in my life, I want to have this in my life, I want to make this, I want to connect, I want to have this relationship, this job, this amount of income, this house, this car, this travel, these connections, this health, if we actually believe that we don't deserve it, if we actually believe that there is something wrong in asking, and that we really should never ask, that we should just give? We never receive anything that way, because we shut it down. So yes, The Giving Tree could be a good book. It needs a few extra lessons in there. It left some very valuable points out, starting with the gratitude. And somewhere along the line, the little boy should have come back and said, hung out with the tree more than just to take from it. And that's really the only time of day that the little boy gave to the tree, was when the tree was providing the boy with something that he was wanting. And he didn't come back in between. He didn't come back and just lay in her shade and eat her fruit and sit there and just like maybe come back and cry about different events and share and connect. No, he only came back when he wanted to strip her of more of what she could give to him, when he needed something. And yeah, that's all fine and dandy. We could say, well, it's a tree. It's a tree, Kendall. Why are you making such a big deal about a tree and a little boy? Well, because so many of us are the tree. So many people really live like they are the tree. I have worked with, like so many of my clients that right now, just yesterday I was working with somebody, and they were talking about how compassionate and how giving and how this and how that they are, and that they always just give, 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 give. And now, years into their life, they actually find themselves speaking out, and they're so upset with themselves about the way they're speaking out to people, and it's coming out abrasive and aggressive and almost like this alpha dog personality, and they feel like they're almost taking from everybody, and they're commanding and demanding things. They're like, this is not me. This is not me. I'm not that person who commands and demands and takes. But I've just had it. I'm so pissed. I'm so frustrated. It's just not right. And the reality is that if you live your life like the giving tree so many years, at some point, when that tree is squished down to nothing but a stump and feels like shit about itself, because that happiness that we're told in the book, and the tree was happy, and the tree was happy. It's bullshit. The tree was happy in that moment because it was getting connection. And then the little boy went away, and the little tree felt abandoned and lost and disconnected and used and like a piece of trash. And then years went by, and it just settled into, I'm not worthy. I'm a piece of trash. I'm only here for the use. And then all of a sudden the little boy pops up, right, and says, I need this from you. And the tree goes, oh, the tree is not happy to give more. The tree is happy that the little boy makes his presence known and reaches out and connects. That's why the tree is happy. That's why we do anything. We're looking for connection, and then we tend to do things that we probably don't even really want to do. We put ourselves in different situations to feel connection, because we're all feeling disconnected and lost and scared and abandoned and questioning, and we run these programs that flip us into certain habits. And one of our habits is to give, 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 and not have healthy boundaries. And it is all about healthy boundaries. So look at those spots in your life. Where are you the giving tree? Where are you that person that is consistently giving and believing that that's what you're supposed to be doing because you're a good person if you give, 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 give till you have nothing left, right? And then when somebody says, what do you want? You go, I don't know. I don't know what I want. Nobody's ever actually asked me what I want. I'm just here to give. I'm just here to help everybody else. I don't really need anything. I'm fine. I'm good. It's okay. When you lay in bed at night, when you wake up in the middle of the night, when you wake up first thing in the morning, is it really okay? Is it truly okay that you've given to that point where there is nothing left? What are those thoughts? What are those feelings that you have when you're all alone and it's just you and God, and you're feeling empty? Empty. How good does empty truly feel? And are you willing to scrape the bottom of that and give even more of yourself without ever asking for what you need, what you desire, what you need, what you want to call into your life? Or would you actually like to have your vessel filled up with abundance and receive all the bounties that we are supposed to receive? All that. Where is that? Something in my coffee. I received a little extra today, a little extra protein. Actually, I think it was just a leaf. It's not a bug. But if we don't learn how to open up our vessels, and my vessel, I mean our spiritual body, if we don't learn how to open up to receive, and we just consistently drain ourselves, it really is that we get to that point where we're at total depression, emptiness, feeling completely disconnected, lost, all these different feelings, and then we end up getting overwhelmed by sadness, And that normally comes out with anger, because we just feel like, like anger will come out, and we're frustrated, and we're pissed off, because we're hurting so bad, because we're truly not happy from consistently emptying our vessels, by consistently giving to that extreme level in whatever fashion. This can be like you're giving all of your money, you're giving your time, you're giving your space, you're give. And there's never anything coming back to us. The important thing here is to know that, like, even in this book could have taken this in, is that it's not necessarily that the little boy was the one that needed to give back to the tree, because there's plenty of times that we can give so immensely to people in our lives, and they actually cannot give back. They are not in an energetic vibration to be able to give back. And those are actually a beautiful space to give in. That space, when we give where the other person cannot give back, is actually an act of true sharing. There is no ego in it, because there is no expectation of that other to give back. But there should be, there should be an ability to open ourselves up to receive from whomever, whatever. We'll just classify it, God and God's angels, earth angels, to open up and receive. Because maybe we cannot receive, and we do not walk in with, like, I give to you, you give to me. No. Sometimes that happens. A lot of times that happens. For instance, like, he could have gone back and he could have sat in the tree shade and talked to us throughout the years, right? He could have had that connection. That would have been a good relationship. He didn't have a relationship with this tree except to use the tree. But when the other cannot give, not the story of this, because the little boy was more than equipped to be able to come back and to provide giving to the tree as well. But sometimes, like, you help the homeless person on the street, you help the, like, I'm going to just use homeless facilities and stuff. You help the homeless facility, you help the, some children's funds, something like that. You go on a mission, and you have these people who are, really desperately need support in different ways. They cannot give back to you. Your gift in that is the giving and the receiving back of the things that you're learning, and the lessons and the spiritual connections. But when you do those things, and you give and you share, because that is sharing, to share is to give of somebody that cannot give back. But when we give to somebody that can give back, so really, truly, we're looking at basic relationships. So you and your spouse, you and your friend, you and your child, you and your work scenario, these kinds of things where we are giving. And if we're just always giving and there is nothing coming back. So let me paint this real quickly out to, we're going to take a marriage situation here, man and wife. Okay, because that sounds like so much good property there. Man and his property, his wife. And we're gonna lay out the basic picture, because this is what I deal with a lot with clients. Man and woman get married. Everything's groovy. They're having massive sex. They're doing all this different stuff. They're traveling. They're having fun. And blah blah blah. Okay, so they're doing this stuff. They're connecting. They're having adventures. Everything's fun. Along comes children. So she gets pregnant, and they have children. Now she starts to give more time, more energy to the children. There's a disconnect that happens. He focuses in on work to make sure the bills are paid, all this stuff is going on. And then, as time goes on, there's more and more distance that happen between the couple. And then at some point in time, she's just feeling completely, and we're going to do the basic scenario here, okay? She's feeling completely drained and energyless and disconnected, unloved, underappreciated, and he's feeling unloved and underappreciated because he's working his ass off. He's making sure that the bills are taken care of. He's making sure that there's a roof over the head. He's stressing out. He's dealing with the challenges of keeping things stable. She's stressing out maybe with a job too, but mostly that she's focusing in on family and the stresses of family and all this different stuff. But meanwhile, and here's how it normally goes, she shuts down to the sex, she shuts down to different things, and she's worried about the bill. She wants to support him by not being a burden, to him financially. So she stops asking for or even taking care of the things that she really needs. So maybe she sacrifices making sure that she does things for herself, little pamperings. She gives to the children instead of to herself. The shopping trips become around, I'll go clothes shopping for the kids, but I don't need anything. And her clothes have not been updated for the last 5 years, but that's okay. The children look good. The children are happy. Blah, 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 blah. He goes and he takes time to go, and she's like, no, you go play golf, honey. Go play fantasy football, honey. Go do this, go do that. And she sits at home and she sits with the children and she does this and she does that. And then, but the guy is feeling disconnected and like I've been giving. I just feel like an ATM machine. Everybody asks me for money. I'm just the fucking ATM machine. It's give. There's never anything coming back. Meanwhile, she's going, I just give. There's nothing ever coming back. And he's like, at least she could want to have sex with me. At least she could just like have sex with me. Like, I just want sex once or twice a week. Is that too much to ask for? And then what does she do? She turns around, and so she starts giving him some sex because she feels his frustration. She feels his anger. So she gives to him the sex. But she's just laying there, and she's basically just a fucking blow-up doll that he's masturbating with. So he's just masturbating with his wife. She's now this tool, this thing, right? So she's moving back and forth. He gets to have that, but there's zero connection. There's zero sharing. There's zero love. It is just that she is now giving her body to him so that he can release his energy, release his frustration, loosen up, not have that much stress in his life, but there's zero connection going on. And then she gets up the next morning and she feels like shit about herself. She's disconnected. She's feeling like crap. Now, this goes on for years. This goes on for years until she just gets to a point where either her body starts to fall apart or starts to shut down. The emotions, she just like, maybe she becomes really hormonal, different things happen. But then, whatever it is, she starts to shut down, and all of a sudden there's just zero sex. And he goes, I don't know what the hell happened. Like, I don't get it. We used to have tons of sex. We used to be adventurous. We used to have fun. And then the kids came along, and then the sex kind of creeped down. And then all of a sudden, it was like, yeah, we were having sex a couple times a week. And I thought that we were happy. But then all of a sudden, it just kind of ended. And now we just don't have sex hardly at all. I haven't had sex for 7 months. I haven't had sex for 7 years. Imagine that one. I haven't had sex for 7 years. I have clients like that. I feel empty. All right, so this is stories of two giving trees that are giving in their ways that they can give, and not really fully receiving because they're not appreciating the giving that the other one is doing at the best level that they could. And might be some gratitude sharing, but there isn't really an asking for what either party needs. Which in both cases is much like what all the tree needed. All the tree needed was connection. All the tree needed was the little boy to come and lay in her shade and lean up against her trunk and to just read a book. That's it, right? So that's all the tree needed, and the tree would have felt so much happier through the years. Not just when the little boy needed to build a house, needed to make money, needed to do this, needed to do that. Our relationships, we really are in this story of the giving tree, where we give, and we give in different ways, and we take in different ways. And we don't really realize what we're doing, either side. And it's because we've grown up with the belief that we can't ask for what we need. We can't ask for that connection. That would be too much. I can't ask that I need time with that person. I can't ask that I don't want to have sex. I just want to snuggle. I just need to be held. Women don't do that. Guys lean in and say, I want to have sex because they want connection, but they're actually not, half the time, probably not even after the sex, they're just after the connection, and they just need the snuggle, they just need the time, they just need that too. It's really getting right with whatever you need and realizing that we have to ask for those things. It does not necessarily mean that we're going to get them every single time. Just because we ask does not mean that we always get a yes. This little boy, again, the lesson to this book is he comes, he asks for what he needs, she gives it, he abandons the situation without even any gratitude. And that she's always giving what he needs. Always, always, always. So, where are you doing this? Where are you being that giving tree of just constantly giving and being that doormat to the people in your life? Where are you not stepping up and asking for what you need and getting fulfilled, getting filled up where you need to be filled up? Because the reality is, much like at the end of this book, the little boy comes to the tree and he says, I don't need very much now, said the boy, just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired. Well, said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest. And the boy did. And guess what? The tree was happy. The end. So, after he had done planting his ass on a tree, what did he do? He got rest. He got taken care of. He got nurtured. He got that connection. She got that drop of connection because she felt like, oh, he's using me, so that's good connection, right? He's using me again, so that's connection, that's love, that's this, that's that. Ooh. If you're using me, you love me? That's the message there. If you're using me, you must love me. If you're using me, that must be the connection that I need. That must be just all I need in life. But at the end of the day, she had given everything and she was just an old stump. And she wasn't good for much else. And somewhere along the line, somebody's going to get pissed off at that stump because they want to pave, they want to build, they end up tripping over it because that stump is taking up a whole bunch of empty space, not providing anything but this rut in the middle of their path. And what happens to stumps? We tie a chain around them, we dig them up, we tie that chain to the back of a pickup truck and we pull that shit out and we burn it. We burn it, we toss it in the trash. We do this. If we give ourselves to that level that we end up just being that old stump, we're going to definitely feel thrown away at the end of the day. And we're going to find out that true love, true connection is not about us just giving. And if we have to give constantly and we never ask for what we want and we never receive back, is that truly love? Is that truly connection? That's what we look for? I mean, would you want that for your daughter? Would you want your daughter to be in a relationship where she's always giving and and her partner is just taking, and you see that relationship? Now, we've all seen relationships, we've probably experienced relationships like this that is point blank in our face. And they are some of the most destructive, nasty, horrible relationships we can get into. The realization I want you to have this morning with this little children's book story is that there are other spots that may not be so obvious that you're being a giving tree, and that you've got to set those boundaries, you've got to tap in, and there's absolutely nothing fucking wrong with asking for what you want and being willing to receive what you want and open up to that and just lean in and let yourself be taken care of sometimes. You have to let yourself be taken care of sometimes, because you need to have that nurturing. You need that soul food for yourself as well. So look at your boundaries. Where are you too soft? Where are you too hard? What does a healthy boundary really look like? I challenge you to start looking at that. Examine where you need to draw some lines in the sand, where you need to communicate a little bit more, where you need to actually start saying yes to yourself, which most likely means say no to others. And guess what? When we say no to others, if it really truly is something that we are really needing and wanting, then that means that we are being a yes to us. A yes to us. And being a yes to us means that we are now a vessel of abundance. And the more abundance we have, the more we can give. The more we can give. So if you want to really truly be an awesome, amazing giving tree, freaking ask for somebody to come sit in your shade and connect with you, okay? You're going to see on here that is pinned my class. We are on day 2 of training today. And, you know, the funny thing is, I just realized this as I said it, today's training in Stop Fucking Around, which is 10 days of alignment ass kickery. And it is really just 10 days of getting everything in alignment so that you can start calling in what you want into your life and just really receive just the beauty of life, right? And it's not just that we just take. It's about calling in so that we can give, so that we can share that, so that we can be good people, okay? Because you know what? Here's the reality. Who supports the missions out there? Who pays for those things? Who pays for different, like I just use the missions, right? Who helps the homeless shelters? Who helps the different, you know, cancer organizations and all this different stuff? Well, if you don't have any money or time to be able to give to those places, you have no resources to give because you've given it all away over here, then you really can't be a good giver in this department, right? So no matter what your goals are around giving, realize that you need to be receiving so that you can continue to give. So if you don't receive, then you're not going to be able to give. Well, today's training in Stop Fucking Around happens to be how to be a yes to yourself always. And the purpose of that right there is how to be a yes to yourself means that when we are a yes to ourselves, that we are building this vessel that is so strong in abundance that we have so much more to give. And that we're not going to empty ourselves out to a point that there is no more for us to give, because we're always open to receive more and more and more and more and more and more. And we are just this vessel that all this good shit just flows through. That's it. And it just flows through us and it keeps flowing through us. And we keep giving, but we keep receiving at the same time. So we have to be able to receive to give. Receive to give. Otherwise, we bleed out. And when we bleed out, well, that ain't no fun. No, that's no fun. So, come join me in Stop Fucking Around. Click on the link, sign up. We are on day 2. Day 1 is all recorded. There's actually this morning, there's going to be out some more stuff that's going out for day 1 stuff this morning to help everybody there. But you're going to be able to access everything. And there is lifetime access on this class. But of course, if you take the class when it is going live, then you actually get to have all that interaction and all that energy and push that is group support and going through it as we are as a group. Plus, going and joining it live also means that you're going to access that one-on-one coaching with me via Facebook, which I don't offer up unless you are actually working with me in my as part of my VIP inner circle people. So those people get access, of course, to me all the time, but typically on Facebook I don't give access to people just to be coaching. I don't coach for free, because why? That would be me giving too much of myself and draining myself. So I know that I need to receive, and my time needs to be worth something. So I need to ask for my time to be worth something, so I don't just give all of my time to a point that I drain myself, that I bleed out. So if you want some of my time, if you want some coaching, if you want that one-on-one attention, and you want to learn some shit, and you want to have some abundance, you want to fill your vessel up with a whole bunch of good shit, and you wonder, how the hell does she do that? How does she keep that stamina? How does she keep that going, that energy, that flow, that motivation, and just wake up one morning and have $4,200 in our bank extra. Woohoo! Yay! And it's not just about the money. It's about also everything else, right? It is. It's about everything. Well, this class can teach it to you. So click the link, come sign up, come join me tonight, this evening. It will be a 9:30, 9:45 Central Standard Time class will be on there. So you have time today to get your ass on there and sign up and even listen to day 1 and work through some of those messages before day 2 live training comes out. But click, sign up, and come join us over there for some fantastic education on being a yes to you, being a yes to your desires, and just stop fucking around and actually command that abundance to flow into your life. So I hope that the Giving Tree lessons, because there's actually a lot of lessons, which is why I said, and other stupid lessons on there, was helpful to you. I will catch you guys Monday morning around 6-ish in the morning. And as always, stop existing and start living. Bye, guys.